Hi YouTube, it's me TFR Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this month's end of month bot haul, the bot haul for September 2021. Yep, I've got about 13 to 14 items to show you on the table next to me. So let's get on with it, shall we? Let me show you what I got this month. Quite a good month. I got 3 KTRTs, Generation Selects, bunch of comics, you know, some Studio Series 86 Wave 2 figures, and yeah, so a nice little selection of stuff. So let's get cracking. So usual thing, place a bunch of orders at the beginning of the month, and then it's just a case of just waiting for them to roll in. First item to arrive. Now, did an unboxing video on it. Generation Selects Hothouse. Now, for some reason I'm getting a real taste for Generation Selects figures, and I know they're just repaints of, well, for the most part they're repaints of moulds I've already got. Now I haven't actually got the Airwave mould, so that was part of the reason why I went for this. Also, these ridiculously gaudy colours on this thing. I mean, look at like the red and the orange and the blue. It just eye-poppingly watering, you know, colour scheme on this. Yeah, so I thought, well, it's a way to get the Airwave mould, but in a really, really gaudy colour scheme. Now, I bought this off eBay, and the seller I bought it off was Toy Jedi. And they were selling it for, because obviously it's a slightly older Generation Selects figure, I think it was it $29.99 I paid for it. Anyway, cut a long story short, it arrived, and when it arrived, it came in a Kapow box. And I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I haven't ordered this from Kapow. And it turns out that Toy Jedi on eBay is a seller for Kapow Toys who sells, you know, excess stock or, you know, certain stock items on eBay on their behalf. So yeah, so technically I bought this from Kapow even though I got it off eBay. So yeah, he's a decent little figure. Obviously, being a modulator, you can pull him apart and configure him in any number of different ways. Pretty cool. Mine has got some stress fractures on this this joint here, literally straight out of the box. So I've got to be careful when messing around with his arms. But apart from that, he's a really, really decent bot and very unusual aesthetic. You know, he's got this really, really squat sort of flat head and transforms into a number of different things. Pretty cool. And yeah, so that was the first of this month's acquisitions. Generation Selects Hothouse. Now, oh, that arrived on the 4th. Now on the 6th, a couple of days later, first of this month's comics. Now, obviously, just lately I've been getting back into comics. I cut over a year or so ago. What was it? 2019. I quit comics because I wasn't enjoying the current run of comics, and the local comic shop was failing in its responsibility to you know, run my subscription box properly. So I stopped getting comics for a full year, and then more recently I noticed that the IDW were doing a Beast Wars 25th anniversary storyline, and I'm a bit of a Beast Wars fan, so I decided to get into that. And for the most part, I've been buying my comics off eBay. Now, it's a bit hit and miss buying comics off eBay. In the UK, there's only a handful of sellers that actually sell the IDW Transformers comics on eBay. And last month, I had a bit of an issue with them. They basically sent me the wrong. They sent me the wrong issue. I ordered, I think it was issue 6 with one of them fancy covers, and they sent me issue 4 instead. So, you know, I contacted them, you know, pointing out the error, blah blah blah. Long story short, I sent the you know, the wrong comic back. They sent me a replacement comic, and in the end, I got contacted by the lady at the shop who deals with the eBay transactions, and I said to her, well, you know, I'm a bit reluctant to leave feedback because, you know, obviously, you know, you caused the fault and, you know, you caused the problem in the first place. But so I'll just leave it at that. And she got a bit little huffety with me, saying, "Oh, you should have left us, you know, positive feedback because, you know, we bent over backwards to, you know, to sort out your problem." I says, "Well, yeah, a problem that you caused in the first place." But anyway, I then sent them a very bland feedback. It just said basically item arrived okay, and it was very, very nothing special. But after that little escapade, I felt like I burnt a bridge with that particular eBay seller, and so I'm looking to buy my comics from elsewhere. And there isn't that much choice, like I said, on eBay. It's either them or hardly anybody else. But then I remembered, I thought, hang on a minute, I've got an account with Comics and Cocktails, and it's like Comics and Cocktails, the clue's in the name. So yeah, I can get my comics through them now. And sure enough, this month I bought a bunch of comics through Comics and Cocktails. Now, the one thing about Comics and Cocktails, their shipping policy is quite interesting. Basically, they charge £1.20 blanket shipping fee for comic orders only. So if you buy an item off them that's, something other than a comic, you get free shipping on it. But all comics orders are subject to this £1.20 shipping fee. Now, if you're only buying one comic from them, then that comic, then you have to apply that £1.20 to that comic you bought. And if, let's say, you bought a comic for, let's say, £2.95, apply the £1.20 to it, it then becomes, sort of like nearly, the £4, 19. So, it can make it quite expensive to buy individual comics. But if you're buying a stack of comics, then, the more comics you buy, the cheaper the shipping gets. So, I've been collecting the Beast Wars comics, and I bought the latest issue of Beast Wars, issue 7. Really enjoying the story. This issue, Black Arachnia's one of the stasis pods that's orbiting around the planet gets reprogrammed mysteriously, and then it comes down to Earth, and then Black Arachnia comes out, and she's a bit confused as to which faction she belongs to. She still thinks she's a maximal protoform, and she's wandering around, and she has some run-ins with some of the local fauna, and then she winds up at the Axelon, and she manages to get through the force field which they've put up to keep the Predacons out, and she's wandering around the ship, and then all of a sudden the program that was into her comes into effect, and then she suddenly becomes a Predacon, and then she stumbles across Cheetor in the in the halls of the ship, and there's a bit of a fight that goes on there. But anyway, I believe that Tarantulas, because when he went on the ship, he found out about the stasis pods in orbit, and he's probably trying to sabotage them and obviously create an army of spider bots to overthrow Megatron. So yep, there we go. The old what was it? Tripredacus Council secret agent is up to his old tricks again. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, really enjoyed that issue. Again, I bought it from Comics and Cocktails. It was a little bit pricey because of that £1.20 postage fee, but you could pay more for that buying comics off eBay, so I'm quite prepared to pay it. So, yeah, got that, and quite enjoyed that. And then, right, couple of days on, then we got the 9th. Now, if you watch my unboxing videos, you know unboxing video number 2 this month, I got a huge lot of parcels came in on the same day. 5 packages in total. And for that unboxing video, I said I was going to show 2 of the items I got rather than all 5. So, obviously, I'm going to now show you all 5 items that I got in that particular shipment. So let's do it. First of all, a pre-order from Hasbro Pulse arrived. Hasbro Pulse Kingdon Core Class Soundwave. Now, I had this on pre-order with Hasbro Pulse from a number of months back. I did get a message from them saying that it was going to be delayed. They probably weren't going to get it till October, but it actually turned up a little sooner than expected. But anyway, what a brilliant little thing this is. This thing is amazing. And I like collecting versions of Soundwave because I've got a bunch of different versions of G1 style Soundwave, different size classes going up, to the Masterpiece down from, from like the WST upwards, and I've got a few sort of third-party ones in between. And I just like to have, all the different size variants of G1 Soundwave going up, starting at the WST and then going all the way up to the Masterpiece. This is another small one. He's awesome. He's really brilliant. Very simple transformation. Decent details. It's actually got a little laser beak cassette. It doesn't transform, obviously, but at least he's got one. And yeah, fantastic little thing. I love this thing. This thing's amazing. It's an awesome little figure. These core classes are really, really cool. I mean, I've got the Megatron, I've got the Rat Trap, I've got Vertebrake, and I've got this guy. Might be getting some more. Don't know how many more they're going to do, but we'll have to wait and see. I think there's some coming in the what they call it, was it the Legacy line? But anyway, so it's basically, you know, the Legends class reborn. They're just calling them core class now, but brilliant little figure, fantastic. Candidate for top bot of the month, actually, is that good. Then KTRTs, obviously a couple of KTRT bots arrived on this day, on the 9th. Done reviews on them. Firstly, Tachyon. He's a really cool looking bot. I love the aesthetic on this guy. I love the colour contrast of the dark blue and the white. It looks absolutely amazing. Really, really cool figure. Yeah, did a review on him. He's awesome. He turns into that like really sort of retro futuristic sort of sports car thing. He's got some interesting things like, you know, he's got like disc wheels where the centre cap stays still and the wheel revolves around it. Decently articulated. It's got a few issues being a Tobot, but at least he's got, you know, like a ball jointed head that can waggle around all over the place. He's got thigh swivels, but he has got the, you know, short thigh itis. He's got these ridiculously short thighs and massively long shins, which means it sort of limits the articulation on his legs a little bit. But apart from that, you know, nitpicks aside, he's a really, really good bot, and really glad I got hold of this guy. Then there's this guy. Tobot V Season 3, number 3, Jet Thunder. Now, I will admit, I was very much on the fence about getting this guy to begin with. I could have took it or leaved it. But after watching a few episodes of the show where this character appeared, I quite liked his character from the show, so that prompted me to get the toy. This toy has got issues. I don't particularly like the wing kibble, or the way they've handled the wing kibble on this. It looks a bit unsightly, and it does hamper his articulation, even though you can sort of move the wings around a bit. Not too keen on that. He's got, again, short thigh-itis. He's got restricted articulation on his legs because of the proportion of his legs. Very short thighs, very long shins. He's barely got any knee movement because of that. He's got a frozen head joint because of the head gimmick. It's frozen. It doesn't move. Cool head sculpt. You know, he's got facial hair and you know, sort of aviator goggles on, so he looks quite cool in that respect. But such a mixed bag on this guy, and also he's moulded in this sort of bland grey plastic. And then when you transform him into his jet mode, there's something about his jet mode to me just doesn't look right in hand. The pictures of it don't look too bad, but when you actually have the thing in hand, and it's like, I don't know, there's something about the proportions of the plane road that just don't quite look right. So I will admit he's been a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. And yeah, like I said, it was very much 50-50 as to whether I was going to buy this guy, but I ended up getting him in anyway, mainly because of, you know, watching the show and seeing the character on the show. He's okay, but, you know, again, kind of disappointing. So yeah, he's probably, yeah, a figure that I wouldn't say I regret buying. He's still okay. He's still got his plus points, but compared to the other Korean toys I got this month, he's a bit of a letdown. Then we got the next generation selects figure that I bought this month. Now, I showed this in my unboxing video. Generation Selects Sandstorm, and yeah, awesome reuse of the ramjet mold, doing it up in this desert camouflage, you know, and then calling it Sandstorm, which is my only gripe on this figure, is the fact that they called it Sandstorm. you know, same name as the Autobot Triple Changer. You know, now I think that's been done for, you know, sort of like trademarking reasons. I mean, obviously, also you have the what's called the Rainmakers. You know, you have like Acid Storm and Sunstorm. So this guy's in sandy colours, so call him Sandstorm. Makes perfect sense, you know, to call him what he is. Brilliant figure. When this guy first came out, you know, the pre-orders like sold out very quickly, and like you couldn't get hold of him for love nor money. And yet, in demand more recently, the last couple of weeks, managed to get a restock in. Obviously, delays of certain figures are, well, delays of, you know, deliveries on certain figures is a thing that's going on at the moment, mainly because of you know, transport driver shortages and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, in demand got some in. I don't know whether they still got it in stock. They might have sold out again now, but it's worth having a look on there to see if they've got this guy in stock. But if they have still got it in stock, then go and get him at you know, in demand, because they got him in stock. He's a great little figure. You know, like the you know, the Earthrise Seeker mold, just done up in different colours. Really cool. Just a shame, Sandstorm. But then again, they did that to so they could upkeep the Sandstorm name in the trademark department, didn't they? That's the reason why they've called him that for the most part. But he's a brilliant looking figure. Love the colour scheme on this. Awesome. And then the other thing that arrived on on the 9th, more comics. Yes, another order from Comics and Cocktails. King Grimlock issues 1 and 2. I'd been on their website and had a look to see what other comics were available. I mean, I knew the Shattered Glass was coming out, and I'd heard rumours about this King Grimlock comic, and I thought I wanted to give it a go because, you know, Grimlock's one of my favourite characters, and, you know, it's another IDW Grimlock story, and I'm prepared to give it a spin. It's quite interesting. You get these aliens on a like a medieval world. They're trying to you know, kidnap Optimus Prime to come to their world and fight for them against an alien warlord, or not, like you know, like a you know, like a magician, you know, like a wizard who can transform into a dragon, and he's like oppressing the people. But the warp that they use to get Optimus Prime, when it appears, you know, Grimlock jumps in the way and he gets transported to the planet, and it's a planet of, you know, dragons and knights and stuff like that. You know, like almost like a you know, medieval sword and sorcery world, and Grimlock's there, you know, sort of fighting his way through all these sort of creatures and beasts. So it's quite interesting. I'm going to continue getting this. Both these comics arrived today, and while I'm talking about these comics from Comics and Cocktails, something else that they've been throwing in lately. Now, the comic the comic, you know, sort of business. Once a year they do a thing called Free Comic Book Day. And it's, you know, it's a promotional event designed to get more people into reading comic books, and they throw out a load of different special, you know, free issues that people can take home and read at their leisure and get for free, and hopefully it'll give them an interest into comics and make them want to buy more comics. So that, you know, the comic book industry does this thing like once a year, and I've been getting chuck-ins with my IDW comics from Comics and Cocktails. Some leftover free comic book comics. So I got this. This one. It's like a double comic. It's like Amethyst on one side and this Batman, Robin, and Howard. So I got that, and I also got this one as well. Beast Boy and Raven. I haven't read this one, but I've sort of flicked through. Flick through this one, and Amethyst story is all right, but this one's a bit basic. But, you know, it's a free comic. What are you going to do? So yeah, they arrived on most of my all my free comic orders from Comics and Cocktails this month. I don't know whether that's going to continue. They're obviously trying to offload this leftover stock from Free Comic Book Day this year, so that's a thing that has happened. And that was all the items that arrived on the 9th. So yeah, as you can see, I got all these items arrived on the same day. 5 items in total, even though I'm counting those 2 comics as one item. So yeah, that was quite interesting. But as I was doing an unboxing video, I only kept the items to 2 items instead of showing all 5, because things get a little bit out of hand when I start doing stuff like that, as has been proved in the past. Right, so let's move on. Let's move along. Right, so the next item to arrive on the 13th, again, another comic from Comics and Cocktails. Yeah, I went a bit mad with the comics this month. So I've got the first issue of Transformers Shattered Glass, and again I got another one of these free comics, and just to prove that I've got 2 of them, you see, I've got 2 of them. So they sent me a duplicate of a comic I've already got. That was nice. Yeah, but first issue Shattered Glass, I decided to give this a go, because I've not really had much to do with Shattered Glass in the past. I know about it, but I've not had anything really to do with it, so I thought I'd give it a go to see what it's like. I know it's like an alternative universe where you get evil Autobots and heroic Decepticons, and yeah, be interesting to see what this is like. It was all right. It was pretty good. Looking forward to getting more issues on this, so I can get deeper into it. But yeah, quite enjoyed that. That was pretty good, and that was the last sort of comic I got this month. So going forward into next month, I've got 3 comic runs I can look at getting into. I've got the King Grimlock, I've got the Beast Wars, and now the Shattered Glass. So there we go, 3 comic runs to be going into, and I will be getting my comics from Comics and Cocktails. Now, if I'm savvy about it, I will order all 3 of my comics in one purchase, and then save myself a bit of money on the shipping. So that was that done. Right, next item to arrive on the 16th, my 3rd and final KTRT of the month. This guy, Tobot V Season 3 Number 2 Wild Chief. Now this guy he's a bit of alright. He's really, really good. Looks amazing in robot and in alt mode. Got oodles and oodles of articulation. The only thing he hasn't got articulation-wise, he hasn't got a waist. But apart from that, he's got everything else you could want. Pretty much, well, without the ankle tilts and wrist swivels. Really, really cool. He's got an awesomely ball-jointed head. He's got amazing light piping as well. I mean, whoa. He's got awesome light piping. It looks really cool. His alt mode is kind of like a Hummer H2 or crossed with a Land Rover. It's Series 2. It's pretty cool. So much detailing on this bot mode. It's just really, really cool and decently articulated. So yeah, he's an amazing figure. Unlike this guy from the same wave, who's got so many sort of articulation restrictions. It's unfunny. Whereas this guy, he's pretty damn good. And yeah, again, another candidate for top bot of the month. I really like this guy. He's super cool, and managed to get hold of him. And moving along, 17th. Now, again, Generation Selects. I've bought 2 already this month. And I did say I was kind of, in one of my videos, I'm sure I said it, in the unboxing video for Hothouse, I'm sure I said I was looking to get Generation Selects Galactic Man. And so I did. I went out looking for one. Quite a few, obviously, because he's one of the first Generation Selects War for Cybertron figures to come out. He came out, he was number 3, so he's right early doors when this run of figures came out. So he's getting hard to find, and those people that have got him, the price is going up because he's getting hard to find. So I was looking around, and the cheapest one I could find was one being sold in Switzerland by a guy on eBay, and he was asking for his payment in Swiss francs, and yeah, so I ended up buying it. It cost me just over about 53, 55 quid, and I had to pay for it in Swiss francs, via PayPal. It converted them straight from GB pounds to Swiss francs, and when the price came up on my PayPal transaction, it was all in Swiss francs. It was ever so weird. And the guy shipped it, and I think he's on the border between France and Switzerland. But anyway, it arrived, and I got hold of Galactic Man. Now, again, I've already got the Siege leader class Shockwave, so I've already got this mold. But more recently, I've sort of, when this thing came out, I thought it looked really cool, but I couldn't justify getting it because I already had a version of the mold. But more recently, my opinion on that has mellowed slightly, and I finally decided to get him. Mainly because I've got these guys. I've got one of the original, sort of versions of the original Astro Magnum stroke Galactic Man toy, even though this is a KO of that, but it looks like the original figure. And more recently, I've also got the New Age Galactic Man as well. So, I've got these versions of, sort of pre-G1 Shockwave. And then you put him next to that. And of course, this guy still has his original electronics, so he still makes a noise. So he still works. He still works, and he's in pretty good condition actually. Even though he's a KO, because he hasn't got the red monocle. And I think the original one had, I think, blue plastic on these parts instead of pink. But there's a number of little subtle differences to the original toy and the later knockoffs. But this one's in really good condition. It's intact. I've got the box. I've got the instructions. I've got some stickers for it that haven't been applied. So yeah, he's in. I got hold of him, and it made me want to get this guy. This guy has got amazing light piping, by the way, which I can't really show you here. But he has got awesome light piping. Looks really cool. Again, the colours on this are slightly different, because I mean, the front part of the gun barrel is, instead of it being in it's in the light grey instead of the purple, like on the original figure where they did it all in purple. But he's got some slight colour differences, and it looks really cool. And even though it's a mould I've already got and I don't really need again, I thought I'd get it because it just looks cool. And the fact that I paid Swiss francs for it as well was really amusing as well. I was like a little anecdote to go with the purchase of this thing. So yeah, got hold of Generation Select's War for Cybertron 03 Galactic Man. And then I was pretty much, well, apart from a couple of AliExpress orders that I placed later on in the month, which I'll get to in a moment, I had some more pre-orders turn up from Hasbro Pulse, because they're now getting the stock in for certain waves of toys that I pre-ordered back in the spring. Most notably, Studio Series 86, Gnaw, and Studio Series 86, Wreck-Gar. Now, Wreck-Gar, well, not Wreck-Gar, right, let's talk about Gnaw first. Decent little figure. I've got the, he's up here. I've got the Titans Return Legends Class 1, obviously. And I can remember the fuss when this thing came out. People were, clearing the shelves of the things because they wanted to army build them for dozens and dozens of Sharkticons, army building. And this guy was fodder for that. And I suspected that this guy might suffer the same fate. He will sell out because people are buying multiples of him because they want to army build a bunch of Sharkticon figures for their displays. So I decided to get the pre-order well, I placed the pre-order early for this guy. He's all right. Unconventional transformation. When you get him out of the box, you have to. Some assembly is required because you have to. This bit's disconnected from it, and you have to sort of slide it on. But that's all right. It works really well. He's decently articulated. He's got a decent, decent transformation. The proportions on the Sharkticon look a bit odd because his hips for his legs are like right at the back of the figure, and his legs are like sort of bent forwards, which looks a bit weird. I think. I also think there's a few sort of bits missing from the Sharkticon mold as well compared to the box art, but it's all right. It's okay. I mean, it's a decent little figure. It's another sort of Studio Series, 1986 movie figure that hits the mark, and I really like him. And then we get to this guy. Wow. I love this thing. He's amazing. I love Wreck-Gar. He's awesome. I mean, he's a pretty cool character in the movie, but this version of him is awesome. I love it. I love the colours on it. And the bike mode. I love the bike mode. It turns into a properly proportioned bike. I was a bit worried about the usual thing with the Junkions where the legs just sort of fold forward and clip into the front of the frame of the bike. I thought it was going to look a bit, disproportionate and ugly, but it actually doesn't. It actually works quite well. It looks half decent in bike mode, and of course it's got the ability where another one of these or another character can actually ride on the back of him, provided it's of a certain size. Transformation's quite fun. Obviously you can take the wheels off, but they just plug into various places. He's got all these spikes sticking out of everywhere. And he has got a few QC issues. I mean, mine obviously like the waist joint's a bit loose, and one of his knees is a little loose. I mean, this one's nice and tight, and the other one's a bit loose, but might be able to tighten that up by tightening up the screw. But I love this thing. This thing's awesome. Like I said, the bike mode just looks amazing. I really, really like him. The colours, the sculpt, just awesome figure. Amazing. Another candidate for top bot of the month, really, in my eyes. I love this thing so much. He looks amazing. He's fun to fiddle with. It's a great little figure. Great figure. Actually, he's quite big for a Voyager, to be honest. He's pretty big. But yeah, I'm really, really, really impressed with this guy. And then, right, we're nearly at the end now. I've only actually got one figure to show you, but before I mention that, there's a little something that happened towards the end of the month, which I think I need to mention here. I ordered 2 figures off AliExpress towards the end of the month. I ordered a Korean toy, a KTRT, because the Hello Carbot line is getting reissued in China. I think the show's been dubbed into Chinese, and now it's been shown in China, and Chinese companies are remaking or reissuing some of the original Hello Carbot figures. And one of the figures they're reissuing is Proud Jet, or Proud Zet, however you pronounce it. I call him Proud Jet. Is that big, ugly red dump truck with a little orange Humvee that plugs into the top of him like, sort of Breastmaster style, and it becomes a combiner, and then it forms part of Hyperbuildy, and you can get these other figures and sort of plug them on in various places, and you get this massive figure called Hyperbuildian. I wanted to get Zesty or Jesty, the little orange Humvee dude. I wanted to get hold of him, but you can only buy him as part of the 2-pack with Proud, and I didn't want Proud because I just can't stand that alt mode that he's got. It's that hideous red dump truck that he turns into. The proportions of it are just so far out. It's just it's absolutely hideously ugly, and I just can't bring myself to buy it. But you can only get Jesty as part of this 2-pack. That is until these Chinese reissues came out and they started to sell Jesty in individual packaging. So I thought, oh yeah, I mean, I was clued into this by KR Brickbot. He sent me some sort of a subliminal message via, I think, a comment on one of my other videos, and it clued me into it. And I looked on AliExpress, and sure enough, there was a couple of sellers on there flogging this thing separately. So I decided to take the plunge, and I placed an order for Jesty or Zesty with a seller on AliExpress. Waited 9 days, and then on the 20th the package arrived. And fortunately, they sent me the wrong character. They'd sent me Kran instead. Now, the thing is, I already have Kran. This is my Korean original. So I already had him, and I didn't need another one. They sent me a duplicate of this, and I was really annoyed. And basically, I opened the package. I didn't open the box. I actually had both the boxes together. Here's a picture of it. As you can see, I've got both my Korean original, which is on the right, and the Chinese reissue, which is on the left. So I had both figures. One box has got Korean language on it, the other one's got Chinese language. So I had two versions of Kran. I was really annoyed about it. And basically, the following day, I went onto AliExpress, I opened a dispute, and returned the figure for for a full refund. To cut a long story short, it was probably a mix-up at the seller's end. They'd obviously got loads of different figures. They just bundled the one into the box. I'm really disappointed I got sent the wrong item, but I've sent it back now. I haven't got it anymore, so this is the only Kran that I've got. I haven't got two of them. The other one's gone. So yeah, I will try and get Jesty or Zesty again next month. I'm going to try again with a different seller, but my faith in AliExpress has been shaken. I've had problems with them before. I've not had a perfect record with AliExpress. I'd say my success rate with them is about 60-65%. I've had this is the second time I've been sent the wrong item. I've also had items missed out of multiple orders before. I've had sort of sales that have fallen through completely because the seller couldn't or refused to ship the item, and I've had lots of issues with AliExpress. And of course, the other thing with AliExpress now is because it's subject to VAT payments, so everything on AliExpress you have to pay VAT on. So everything on AliExpress is 20% more expensive than it ought to be. So yeah, it's a bit of a minefield buying off AliExpress now. But there's so much stuff on there. Now that's the thing. They've got things in stock which are sold out anywhere else, and you just got to take your chances. So I'm a bit reluctant to try and buy this Zesty figure again, but I am going to try again next month. So I'll have to see if I'm successful next month. I'm not holding out much hope. Last thing to arrive. I did order a second item off AliExpress because I'd ordered that Zesty figure. I had a figure in my wish list that's been there for months and months. I decided to pull the trigger on it, and on the 28th it arrived. Mech Fans Toys, Mechanic Studios, MS13D Detective, or like a little Mech Fans Toys Detritus. So it's their hound mould, but done in the desert sand colour to represent Detritus, the sort of like the Junkian brother of Autobot Hound. Yeah, it's a decent mould. It arrived in the original sort of hound boxes with all the green, the green artwork on it, not the beige one. So I was a bit, when I opened the box, I was a bit worried. They'd sent me the green one, but when I opened it up and looked inside, there was the beige figure. He's all right. He's okay. Decent little transformation. turns into a Jeep. What more can you say? It's Mech Fans Toys, or one of their subsidiary companies. I mean, they've got Vecma Studios, they've got Mechanic Studios, they've got themselves Mech Fans Toys, and they've got other sort of sub brands that are basically under the same banner. But yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay, and it's the last item that I bought or arrived this month. So there we go. That's my haul for September 2021. Yeah. So we just got to do that thing, first and worst. I've actually, like I said, throughout the course of this video, I've said that there's a number of potential first bots this month. There's quite a few bots that have really wowed and impressed me, and I kind of like them. I mean, this guy and this guy and this guy. So one of those is going to be my first bot. Now, my worst bot, again, there was only one bot that really sort of disappointed me this month, and so I'm ready to give you my verdict on what the best and the worst things I got this month are. So, are you ready? First and worst. So yeah, Wreck-Gar. I really, really like this guy. I mean, yeah, okay, he's got a few QC issues, but I can see past those. I love the aesthetic on this guy. I like the size of him. I like the engineering. I mean, the bike mode, the way it plugs together, you think this isn't going to work, but it actually does. It really does. Once you get it all put together, it actually works really, really well. And I love it. I love this figure so much. It's so amazing. He's awesome. And then this guy. So many things that have let me down with this. The wing kibble, the grey plastic, the restricted articulation on the disproportionate legs, the fixed sort of head sculpt. There's so many things on this figure. I mean, he's got his plus points. I mean, he's got like weapon storage in his legs. That's pretty cool. But you know, it doesn't save it from being a disappointment overall. So yeah, he's the worst thing I got this month. Had that, I kept that replacement Cran figure. That probably would have been the worst, just because it was the wrong item I got sent. But anyway, so that's that. That's my haul for this month. I'm just in my first and worsts. A quick thing before I go. In a couple of days' time, because I'm filming this on Wednesday the 29th. And on Sunday the 3rd of October, I'm going to be going to the NEC Toy Fair. Yes, Barry Potter Fairs has restarted their toy fairs, and they're doing their first NEC Toy Fair on Sunday, October the 3rd at the NEC. There is some COVID restrictions that have been played out there. It's the NEC largely that's asking for these. If you're going there, you need to show proof that you've been vaccinated. So if you've got that little vaccination card, you can show that. Or if you've got the COVID Pass app on your phone, you can show that as well. So you're gonna have to show proof that you've been vaccinated before they'll let you in, and I'm sure you're gonna have to sanitize and wear masks and stuff like that. But I mean, come on, it's the NEC Toy Fair. It's the biggest toy and train collectors fair in the UK. It's back, baby. Back on October the 3rd after a 20-month absence. I mean, I went to the last one, which was in February 2020, February last year. And it's been such a long time since they've had one. I mean, obviously, the whole, toy collectors scene has been in lockdown, due to the COVID. But they've run a few minor events recently, and they've been fairly successful. So they got the go ahead to do the Birmingham one. So yeah, going to the NEC, going to do my usual thing, take £100 and see what I can pick up. And really looking forward to it. So that's something to look forward to next month. Also, there's a couple of I've got quite a big bunch of Korean things to make a play on next month. There's quite a lot of things that are reissues that have come out that I'm kind of interested to get into again. And yeah, so that's all that's been said. I've been TFR Wilderness. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da!